Now this module is entitled Advanced Command Line Control. There are a few parts of command line control that we're going to have a look at, and the first one is referencing individual command line parameters beyond $9. Remember a couple of chapters ago I told you that that actually wasn't possible, that the only command line parameters that you could actually reference individually were $1, $2, all the way through to $9. Well, there is a special command that you can invoke called shift that actually allows you to reference those individual command line parameters beyond $9. It works like this. When you call the shift command just by itself, just the word shift on a line by itself, the following things happen. Whatever value you happen to have in $1 is lost. It's just gone. So if you actually wanted to use that variable, you would probably want to copy it into another variable before you call the shift option. In other words, you might say something like first equals $1. That stores the value of $1 away in the variable called first. Now, that's not the only thing that happens. $1 then is set to the value of the second parameter. So in other words, instead of $1 pointing to the first parameter, $1 now points to the second parameter, $2 points to the third parameter, and so on down to $9, which points to the 10th parameter. So you can see they've all been shifted along by 1, which is of course why the command is called shift. Let's have a look at that in action. Here's a little script called shift test, and it has a little function inside it called print palms, which is exactly the same code as we used in one of our earlier little demonstration scripts. Now we actually call that print palms function and pass it $, which is every single parameter. So what that will mean is the parameters to print palms will be exactly the same as the parameters to the shell script itself. So theoretically that will just print out all the parameters in the normal way. Then we actually run the shift command, which should get rid of the first parameter and shift all the rest along 1, and then we'll print them all out again and see what we get. So let's try that. We'll do a percent, and then it's A for the first parameter, B, C. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so initially everything looks fine. 1, 2, and 3 are A, B, and C, and so on. And then we shift, and now parameter number 1 points to BBB and parameter 2 points to CCC. The original parameter 1 is gone completely. So I'm sure that you can see that it follows that if you had 10 parameters, exactly 10, then doing a shift would cause the first one to disappear and the 10th one to become $9, which would then, of course, allow it to be accessed individually. It is actually even possible to specify a numerical parameter to shift, which tells shift the number of, get this, shell script parameters that you want to shift. So I know that sounds awfully confusing, but let's have a look at what that might be. Shift 4. If you don't specify a number to the word shift, then it shifts 1. But you can actually get it to shift 4 at a time if you want. So $1 will be the old $5, and $2 will be the old $6, and so on. And $9, I guess, will be the old $13, if there was one. So there's just a handy little thing to keep in mind there.